the term entropy comes in various branches of science. So we have it in physics, chemistry, and biology. So each of some of these subjects have its own definition of entropy. So it also becomes a matter of confusion for many people, like to what definition should they rely on, what definition is correct. Now all of these definitions are actually correct, but they do like sound very different from each other. For example, physics says that entropy is a measure of disorder. Chemistry says that it's an ability for of a system to do some positive work. Now that's the reason why many people get confused with the what exactly the entropy is. But the very basic definition of entropy is that the entropy is the information. It's the information. When we say information, we mean that when the information is created, there is always a known physics a law. There is always a known physics law behind it. We never have an information being created and there is no law of physics underlining that information. For example, let's say you have an egg suspended on the table. When we push it and it drops down, it breaks down, it smashes on the floor. We have the entire thing spread on the floor. Now there was some information behind it. Now that information was underlined by the known law of physics. That law was gravitation. Again, one more example. Let's say that here we have a bunch of particles, and those bunch of particles collect together due to the electromagnetic force, and we have a bunch here of those particles. Now there was an underlying law of physics there. It was due to the electromagnetic energy, it was due to the electromagnetic force, and that's why we consider it as the information being created. Now if we have things in a universe, such things really can't happen in a universe where we have things been happening and there is no known physics law behind it. We don't see that in a universe. But let's say if something happens, like for example we have a smashed egg on the floor, then that egg is not gonna resemble into that smashed egg is not gonna resemble into the entire egg. Like it's not gonna have the time in reverse direction. We can't really have the time in reverse direction and this egg resembling the smashed egg resembling itself into the entire egg, because there's no underlying physics law which supports this action, which supports this event. So this is not the real information which we consider. And if it really happens, let's say by whatever means, not supposed to be happening in our universe, because there's known laws of physics supporting this event. But let's say if this happens, a smashed egg resembles itself into an entire egg. So the information this happened goes into negative, because we can't consider it positive, because there's no known laws of physics supporting this event. So that information goes into negative. Now entropy is the information. Now since we have in our example we have a negative information being created, we have a decrease in entropy. We consider it that way. Until in our universe we always see a positive increase in entropy, and that's what even the second law of thermodynamics says. It says that the entropy of our universe always increases, and that's the very obvious thing, because when we think the information is positive, that we do mean that entropy is increasing, right? Because every event in this universe creates its own information, and every event has underlining it known laws of physics. That's why we count it as information. And if we count information, a positive information always increases the entropy. I mean, the positive information always correspondingly mean an increase in entropy, but a negative information does mean decrease in entropy. And that's the reason why we don't see things like a smashed egg resembling itself into the entire egg, or weird things like that. So that's what the second law of thermodynamics says, that entropy of a universe always increases, or at least stay constant. Correspondingly, the information of the universe always increases. It always stay positive. Okay, so that was the meaning of entropy. The very basic of meaning of entropy is that entropy is the information.